This is going to be my second rant video in 2 days, and for that, I apologize. Because football is such a beautiful game, and it brings to us so many positive feelings, uh, so much of a feeling of community, so much entertainment as viewers. And when something in life gives you so much, I think it's important to try and give back in an equal way. Uh, However, when there is something that you care so deeply about, there are times that, you know, I feel that a rant is warranted. And today, as I was looking at the FootMob Transfer Center rumor section, and I saw something, it really just irked me. And what I'm specifically talking about is this right here. Uh, Bradley Barcola is wanting to be sold off by PSG for a price of 145 million pounds, or 175 million euros, and I think 200 million dollars is the currency equivalence. Uh, and this, to me, is just ridiculous. Ridiculous that Liverpool seem to really like him and seem to be willing to, even if it's not that full price, be willing to pay, somewhere in the ballpark of probably 110, 120 million pounds. Um, but also just ridiculous that he is that cost. And there's many reasons why I think this. Um, First of all, similarly, Vinicius Jr. is being priced at about 20 million less US dollars for Arsenal to buy. And when you compare a player like Barcola and Vinicius Jr., the difference is just so obvious. I don't even have to explain. Um, More than that, I don't really understand why Liverpool are so fixated on a player like him. Um, sure, Cody Gakpo might not be the best player in the world, but you also have someone like Rio Ngamoa, who many Liverpool fans will say is one of the best young talents in the world. And buying a young star like Barcola seems to just, be inviting the stunting of the growth of a player like Ngamoa in a day in which we've really seen players start to break out in these teenage years more and more often. Uh, and so buying this for Barcola when you've already got players in that position, you should really probably be looking for that Mo Salah replacement more so on that right wing. Uh, and B, he has not proved that finishing. Uh, we really have seen throughout his career that yes, he is great at creating chances, great at dribbling, very fast, an entertaining player to watch overall. He's not someone who will really help your team in those big, big moments. And when you're buying someone for a price that is over 100 million pounds, you just can't buy someone who is not going to help you in a moment in which you're looking to win the Premier League and you're playing Arsenal or Manchester City late in the season. You need the 3 points. Bradley Barcola is not the player that is going to, get you the goal and assist to win you that game. Now, maybe he could develop into that type of player, and maybe that is what Liverpool are betting on. But I think historically, when you look at players like this, who have that flair, have so much potential, but don't really capitalize it young. And I'm thinking of Dembele is a very obvious example, but Rafinha is another one. I think of Ismail Assar as another similar player. These players usually do not develop the finishing and composure until they reach a much more mature age than Barcola is at right now. Barcola, I believe, has turned 23 already, and oftentimes I don't think it's until you hit, that 27, 28, 29 years that those players are sitting at that you get that maturity in that experience that allows you to finish at the level that they have learned to. And the other thing that really frustrates me with seeing this price tag, um, is that it just feels like these big teams are just absolutely bullying everyone else. It feels like they're throwing this money because they can, not because it makes sense to, but because it's just a show of dominance. It's, I can buy this player. Where Chelsea, we can buy this player. Arsenal, we can buy this player. Manchester City, we can buy this player for 100+ million. It doesn't matter if they're not worth it. If we want them, we're going to get them. You're not going to get them because we can pay this premium. And I don't really like where it leaves, other teams, the Serie A, who we know does not make, a tenth of what the Premier League makes in the television rights, or smaller teams in the Bundesliga or Ligue 1. And I mean, maybe that leaves for a big underdog story in which these teams are going to develop players through having better team chemistry, or just having better scouts that are able to get better players in their own leagues, or in other continents. Um, but I don't like the fact that these massive teams just feel like they can disregard that, and just buy whoever you want. You bought Isak and Florian Wirtz last season for 150 million each, pretty much. Not quite, obviously, but pretty much. And that hasn't worked out so far, and so you're just going to throw another 150 at Bradley Barcola. And that just seems so egotistical and so against what the game of football should be like, in my opinion, and what I believe a lot of you would probably also agree that the game should be like. You feel a lot better when you get these players and you develop them into being these massive players, not when you buy them at these premier prices that no other team can afford, and you rise up the prices for the other teams around you. um, it really is just something that irks me pretty deeply, um, and it's not even just players like Bradley Barcola. All of these other clubs, we saw Morgan Rogers going for an outrageous price. Tonali, Elliot Anderson, and all of these are very good players, but they're just not players that a couple of years ago you would have looked at and imagined being in that price range. And look, I'm gonna cut my rant off here. Uh, the Premier League and other major leagues are starting in less than a month. I'm very excited about it. I hope you guys are excited. I definitely want to, make a lot of content talking about that, and talking about other potential transfers that are going to come before that period of time. And so, if you enjoy these rant type of videos, let me know, and maybe I'll consider doing more of them. But generally, we'll get back on track and talk about some more of the fun stuff that we all know and love in the future. And so, for now, I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.